Hello everyone, my name is Lucas, and today I'm just gonna make some sounds, and at the end of the video I'll give them away for download. So I'll go ahead and start with just Serum, and I'll get it routed to a mixer track here. And I already have some processing saved, so I'm gonna go to File, and I have it named Thick Wubs, of course. And so it's going to take a second to load in, and it has two patchers here. The first one is just a mid-side EQ. So on the sides, I'm cutting out the low frequencies. And the second patcher splits the low band and the high band. So that way the sub will just go through some OTTs and Camel Crusher, and the highs we'll go through a disperser first, and then it'll go through those OTTs and then a Camel Crusher. For the OTT, I just have it at the depth is at 50 and the time is at 1000, and that's the same for all the LTTs. And the Camel Crusher, I just brought down the amount to about 50%, and I left everything how it is. Once that is routed, I'll go and start actually designing the sound, and I usually start off with some FM stuff and see where I can get with that. So I'll just go ahead and do FM from B. I'll turn on the oscillator B, put the level all the way down, and then I'll also do FM from sub, and I'll turn on the sub. I'll put that down 2 octaves and turn on direct out, and I'm just going to bring that level all the way down as well. I'll put the octave up 1 for oscillator B, and I'll go ahead and make an LFO shape. Maybe something like this will be good. And I'll put LFO 1 on the level of oscillator A, and then I'll put it on the level of the sub, and I'm just going to bring it to 50% on the sub. Not sure what kind of sound I want to make yet, but I'll just go ahead and turn on the filter. I'm thinking of trying some band notch, so just throw the LFO 1 on the cutoff, and I'll throw it on the frequency as well, and we'll find a sweet spot here. That sounds pretty good. I'll put up the resonance, and I'll also turn up the drive a lot. I go to an FX tab, and I'm just going to add some hyper dimension, put the mix all the way down on the hyper. I'll turn up the mix for the dimension about 50%. Let's do that, and then I'll put the size all the way down. And we'll add some distortion. I like to put the drive up like 80% and then turn the mix down halfway. I'll put on a compressor, and I'll just set that to multiband and maybe turn up the gain. I'm going to click this little mix button here, which makes it turn to level instead. So I like just dragging that down and putting LFO 1 on it and setting it to 50%. You can also do that with the distortion as well if you'd like. Kind of giving us a different tonality every time. So if you want to change that, we can just put the random all the way down to 0. And we'll get that same playback every time. I'll try out an EQ here maybe. Just put this on the frequency. Maybe something like that. I also like adding a chorus and putting it at the bottom. And I like controlling the mix with LFO 1 as well. And I like to set it around 30%. And I'll turn the low pass all the way up. Now we can mess with the rate. And we can also try turning on the noise and maybe setting this to bright white and having LFO1 control the level. I also like to bring the pitch up a little bit, maybe turn on the key tracking. Now we can just mess around with the FM and find a good spot. That's kind of cool. Maybe if we use LFO1 to control that. I can also try adding a filter in the effects tab, and maybe we could just do, I like to always try out the comb plus or minus and also the combs filter and miscellaneous here. But first I'll try the comb minus. I'm just going to bring the cutoff somewhere over here and maybe control the resonance. Sometimes it is also nice to just mess around with the pitch. So I usually draw in a note here. I'll just do F4 and I'll just put it in the playlist, and I'll put up the bend up to 12, and maybe we could just do -12 as well, and I'll put it on here on the range as well. And then go to the pitch, right click that, create a mission clip. And let's just make a little shape here and just try to do a little bit of pitch bending. Sounds a bit more aggressive to me when there's a bit of pitch bending on it. Obviously you could keep on messing with this, adjusting it till it sounds good to you. That sounds pretty good to me, and so I'll just consolidate this really quick. And so usually I'll run through like several sounds and I'll just consolidate them, and then I could fade out any clicks or noise caused by the feedback from the OTT. I could just fade it out at the ends, and then I can go and render it again and save it in a pack. So I'll go ahead and start on the next sound. So I usually just use the same pattern, and I don't like to start from scratch either. We already have a lot of stuff set up here, so we can just start altering it. Maybe we can try changing the wavetable. So I have these massive wavetables. You can find them online for free, and I think they're pretty helpful. I usually just stick to the basic ones. Already gives us a different tonality and texture from just changing the wavetable. And we can go back now and see what that would sound like with that pitch bend on there. Sounds like a little womp. It actually sounds kind of cool. Maybe I'll just consolidate that one how it is too. And it kind of gives you a lot of variations. For a future song, if you're looking for something, it's nice to have some rendered sounds. So I'll mute these for now, and we can go back into that pattern one. And again, we'll just go change something small and make it different enough to where we can render it. It's a little bit noisy, but it's kind of good. I wonder with the pitch bend what it sounds like. It's a little bit weird. Maybe we can delete this top point. You can also mess with the wavetable position. That kind of sounds cool right there. Let's try again. Kind of like when it pitches down faster. We could try just rendering that and maybe trim some of the end off. So I just consolidated it, and then we could just use the fades, just get rid of that little tail. So if I were to play it on repeat, sounds like a pretty good bass. And then after, when I actually take these sounds and throw them into a project, that's when I can add more effects or EQ it and kind of tailor it to that track. So I don't really add too much on the sound as it is now. I prefer being able to EQ it how I want, so that way it fits the track that I'm working on. And okay, we'll just go into it. Let's make another one. I feel like this is turning out pretty well. I really like having the FM from B and then also the FM from sub, because you could just move the knob a little bit and you have a whole different tonality. Like, man, it's kind of weird, but you know, might be useful. Maybe if it doesn't pitch down, but try going up. That sounds kind of cool. The tail is just cut off shorter. I can even extend this out a bit right here. I like it both ways, actually. I don't know. Okay, we'll settle for that. I could also try putting this back down, seeing what it sounds like. Okay, that's good enough for me. So I'm gonna consolidate it again. Bam, we have another sound, and we're just plowing through. Maybe we can try doing either like a faster one or a longer one now. I mute these. Cool. Let's make something else. Oh, let's reset that pitch. We can try maybe doing like a long sustained bass. That's really high pitch. Maybe we could just go a little bit lower than that. That's kind of cool. Cool. This might be even better if we add some vibrato. So if you go to the matrix and click this little arrow right here, it says create vibrato. So we'll just create that, and it's going to do a unused LFO. So in this case, LFO2 is not being used. So that's going to be our vibrato shape. So as I bring this mod wheel up right here, it will introduce that vibrato. So now since our time is set to 1/4, it doesn't sound great. So let's set this trigger and let's set it to either 1/8 or 1/16 might sound good. And I might just lower the amount, maybe down here. And the cool thing is once you move this mod wheel around, you can go up here, right click that controller, and then do create a mission clip. And now if we were to make this sustained, maybe, what if it's like 2 bars long? That might be cool. And we could just have it add more vibrato as time goes on. Okay, let's fix my pitch automation. That was terrible. But since I have it set to only 1 bar here, I would have to set it to, let's try 4. And maybe we could do something like that. And then, so I usually render all these in 1 key. So like in this case, I'm rendering them all in F, so I could label them all in F. And then my other favorite is D sharp to render sounds in. And so right now, if you use the scale tools so that you could do scale highlighting, right now it's on minor, it's on F minor, and you can see that D sharp is inside that scale. And so if I was to go and highlight D sharp minor, which is the other key I like writing in, F is also in that scale. So since they're both in each other's scales, it doesn't matter if I drag in the sound and I'm writing in D sharp minor or if I'm writing in F minor. Either way, they're in key. And so those are my 2 favorite to always just render sounds in. And so if you're thinking about rendering some bass sounds out, I would try going with either one of those 2 notes. Even, you know, G sharp is nice, or G. I don't know if that's too weird or if that's good. I can't tell. I could also just try messing with the FM a little bit more. also going to reset this point here to just be 50. But you see they get like a lot of cool tonalities just by moving these knobs a little bit. I honestly could have rendered like 3 versions of this. Okay, so let's just say I wanted that. Like that's what sound like. That's what I ended up on. Then I would just consolidate it. Have it right there. I could fade in the entrance and maybe the exit just a bit, and make sure there's no clicks or pops. And then I can just render that again. And I'll usually render my files as like a WAV file, and I'll put it into a pack of sounds. I can also just try doing a fast bass. So I've shown a long one, I showed a quarter note, so maybe I'll show doing a an eighth note. So I'll just speed this up and then make it like this. I could just put this all the way down so there's no vibrato anymore, or I could just put this automation clip all the way down. Now we could edit this. We can go and try and change our filter effects. So we can change this. Maybe let's try the combs here and miscellaneous. Let's see what it sounds like. We could do there. So I'll just render that out, and I usually like to do 4 bars when I have fast sounds. Cool. And so now I could actually make some rhythms with this one, and we could do like one more variation of a fast one. Let's just do one more just to show, and I hope you guys do learn something when I do show how I make these sounds. So I'll just try a different wavetable. Again, I'm going to be using the massive wavetables, and so what I did square saw. So you could try a sine. Let's try the sine triangle maybe. I'm going to try something out really quick. I'm going to use another LFO, and I'll put it like this, make a shape like this, and set it to trigger, and also set it to the time of whatever your volume shape is at. So this is at 1/8, so I'll do 1/8 here, and I'll put it on the cutoff, but I'm going to put it backwards like this. Maybe we can try like something with like 1/2. So that way we can get more of a rhythm here. Maybe something simple like that. But we'll go here, change this to 1/4. And now we could actually do a shape like this and then make it to 1/2 time. Cool. I think I'll just go with that and render it. I'm not spending too much time at each sound because you could spend forever just moving knobs, but sometimes it's just best to get stuff out there and move to the next idea. So I'll consolidate that, and now we got it in rendered form. This could be like some Riddim track bass, I don't know. And so we also got the fast one, and then the sustain. Pretty cool. The little womps. Pretty dope. I like that one the most, I think. Yeah. Cool. And then so now you could take all these sounds and make a drop out of it. I find it to be like way easier than sound designing on the spot. I like having the clear empty space of a fresh track, so maybe I'll lay out some drums and try to make a little drop out of this, see if it's any good.